okay, today we will try to get this MacBook here working. I've had this laying around for months. I don't know when I got this, somewhere late 2019, and it is cosmetically in pretty good condition, and I have to say this might just be the most best looking MacBook I've ever seen personally. The ones I've worked on and seen, they were all cracked, had cracks here in the bezel, and in the hinge area and everything, and also scuffed. And this one is pretty darn nice. It's even having all the screws. I can only see one thing wrong with it, and that is, I don't know what's going on here. It's got like this hump. I don't know, but apart from that, everything nice. Even battery is here. I don't think it's working anymore, but still it's better to have this counterweight, since it's kind of getting a little top heavy without the battery. And what this has is really nice looks, but not functionality. And this guy is exactly the opposite. It looks like total junk, but it works. So I diagnosed in this MacBook a motherboard issue, where it would just not boot up, or it would just not do anything. You press the power button, it would spin the fan, but that's it. No signal to the monitor, no external signal, nothing, just dead. And so I searched online and I found this, and that is half a MacBook. And from the looks, it should have the exact same motherboard. It's the same 1181 as this, just in black, which is kind of a shame because these black ones are getting rare. And yeah, but still, I also wouldn't make it into a Panda Bear MacBook because I don't think it would look all that nice. When you look at this MacBook first, you might get a little scared, because it's not your regular HP or Dell laptop where you just flip it over and it's open. No, it's a little more involved, but it's not that bad. I would even say it's quite a lot easier than MacBook Pros. And we will do that. So let me open this up and show you the inside. So we got a little progress. Got it almost out, but we still have to get the charging, like battery connector out here. And the charging cable plugs in, not in the motherboard, but into a connector which plugs into the motherboard. That's also a thing I didn't know. Alright, it was only stuck in there pretty well. Wow. This is the weirdest connector I've seen in a long time. This goes in like this. Apple never disappoints with their unique, weird crap all the time. Wow. I just found out that these are not the same units. See, this screw goes here. I mean, it should theoretically fit, but I will then use that cooler, I guess. Okay. The more you know. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? This, you cannot be serious. This is not the same part. What? What in the hell? This looks just almost the same, but it's not. It's a little bit smaller. See that? I already see a lot of differences. You cannot be serious. You gotta be fucking kidding me here. This is like not even funny anymore. There are connectors which don't fit. For example, this guy here does not go into here, but it's at the same place. And here are different ones. This is the same. I'm just seeing more and more the more and more I look. These are different boards. Yeah, I don't know if we can just swap that over. I really don't know. That one is the same. It's also a different wireless card. What the fuck? This can't be true. This thing is having quite a couple of differences. But nevertheless, guys, as annoying as it seems right now, I still think we can pull it off. I still think we can swap that into the white shell. I would only need to swap the couple of cables around. I can imagine it's not fun, but oh well. So I figured out what we have to do to get this swap working. First is this cable that goes right to this thing here. I don't know what that is. Maybe someone can tell me, like a sensor or something. And here is this one from the white one. The connector on this board looks like that, and this one looks like that, which doesn't work unfortunately. But we can unplug this cable from that socket, which appears to be the same, and just swap the cables, and then we can work with this board instead of this board. And next one is the CMOS battery, which is in the black MacBook here, and in the white one it is on the bottom, which is awkward. It goes here. So we have to cram that somehow in there, and we have to do that by swapping this speaker assembly for that one. At least from the theory, because when you look at it closer, we get here different types of connectors. So yeah, but the overall shell should be the same. So we'll have to give that a try. I was just for a second had a little fear that this connector would not work, but it will. That goes in right here, so no fear, this one works. This fan goes here with a bigger connector, and that fan goes around the same place but has this flat style connector, so we have to use this one, and that one will also fit here in this case because it's the same kind of layout. So the only thing that's different now is the wireless card, which has here two connectors, two antennas, and the old one has, well, the other one has three, and we got here three cables, so we'll have to use that one. But once again, it should be not an issue, should just plug in. And when we're done with all of this, this is the same connector for the battery port, or battery connector, and the video connector is somewhere here. Yes, this is here, and yeah, that's all the same, roughly the same place. And that one is optical drive, and power is also the same. So my fear was that it's not gonna fit, but with some modifications and swapping stuff, should be not an issue. So how is this coming along? Well, I'm just gonna show you. I had to remove this audio stuff here, this speaker, and there's another one somewhere here. Yeah, that one goes right here, and that are from the black MacBook. This has to be modified to fit. Now it's not done yet. It's probably just not gonna close in the way it is right now, but with enough like sanding it down, it should actually go in there. Now this wouldn't worry me at all. What worries me a little bit is something that I just figured out, and that is that we got here this connector, and I have just no idea what it is. It plugs in right here, and it says BK Light, I don't know, this one, and it doesn't fit because it has, once again, a different socket. This has a weird socket. This is like this lower style socket, and this is the bigger one. So I cannot plug this in because I don't have that cable. It goes like somewhere up into this monitor housing. I don't know, guys. I also found out that we got here not a 2 gigahertz, but we upgraded to a 2.2 gigahertz, so it's even faster. So it looks to me that the 2.2 gigahertz ones have different style coolers than the 2 gigahertz ones. Also, it won't fit all the way, like I don't know, something's flexing there. What I also had to do is unscrew this here, and now I can screw it back in to make room for the motherboard to go in. I kind of managed to get the old one out without doing that, but certainly it would not go in anymore. So yeah, this is just the way it is. Everything is so tight, like there are no tolerances whatsoever in this computer. As you can see, it's still not perfectly laid out. So yeah, this is wow, a big job. Bad. Also, I have to kind of find a way to get this screw out here. The plastic ripped and left the screw in there, and the screw is stripped, so that's another project. But the most important thing is, does it work? So, are we ready for the big moment? We almost are. We only need to connect the keyboard, and that's this mess, like this ghetto slap together, total unprofessional machine. The remaining of a MacBook work. RAM. RAM is important. Got here 512 megabyte Samsung, and it should be enough to start this guy up. Alright, we get a green light, which is good. We should have sound. Oh my god, I'm so nervous. We're gonna press it now, guys. 3, 2, 1. No fucking way, made a bong. Okay, made a bong. Holy shit. But no monitor. Huh. No monitor signal. It's probably the monitor. Or monitor backlight or something. I don't know. Probably is. So guys, I know what's up. This is the inverter cable that's holding us back here. And there is no other way than buying a appropriate cable for this motherboard, because the motherboard I shoehorn in here is apparently a Penryn or Santa Rosa. I do really think it's a Santa Rosa Core 2 Duo. And this connector here was only used in Core Duos and early Core 2 Duos, so in 2006. And so, yeah, unfortunately, that sucks so much, because I almost made it. You know, it's so, I'm so close of being done here. Well, I'm not done at all. After it boots, I need to figure out a mounting solution for this. That's not the thing I haven't even told you about. This is a completely different story here. But what I want to say is, this little tiny cable which goes to the monitor in here, to the inverter, that is the problem. And I can't imagine it can't cost that much on eBay or something. It's just a tiny, stupid little cable. It's surely overpriced because it's got this fancy Apple thing, you know. But I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna buy one of these cables, and then of course take the whole monitor out and go to the inverter and plug it in, and then it should work. And when I'm done with this, I have to figure out a solution for the CPU cooler unit here. And the fan too, because it does not screw in with the original standoffs. The original standoffs are different than in this case here, where they have here 4 standoffs for the screws here, and yeah, also different ones. The motherboards are the same, thankfully, so I could mount the motherboard properly, but the fan, I will have to do something here. And these, what I will just do is I will search some screws in my screw collection, and I just screw this to the motherboard. So it's, yes, it's not completely screwed down anymore to the case, but at least it's then secured like to the motherboard, and that's secure enough as is. So yeah, that is my goal for today still. The rest is unfortunately postponed. I was just looking forward actually plugging it into a monitor and seeing if it works, but I fear I don't have one of these connectors, because adapters for these connectors. It's, I don't know, it's a special Apple bullshit as always, so I don't think I have one of these. So it's a couple of days later, guys, and here you see my free MacBook Pro, which I used to install a Lion copy onto a hard disk I had. And so I put that hard disk into this MacBook, and would you look at that? Oh my god. Yes, it does work indeed. So that is a really, really nice thing to see. Now if you look just slightly here at the screen, you can see that we have a monitor signal, because I connected the LVDS cable. I hope I didn't mess up the letters, but the video signal cable. But we just don't have the backlit, because the inverter cable is the wrong one. But as you can see, it does display something, so that's great. But of course, using it this way is kind of hard, so I connected up a monitor. So I did in fact have one of these adapters, which surprised me, but I found them, and that turned out to be the right one. So as you can see, we have a working MacBook. So if I press this button here, it should switch the monitors to, yeah, there we go. So now it's not a second monitor, but a primary just mirrored, and I can just try to use this trackpad for the first time, which it does click. That's good. If you're wondering why it's reacting so slow, that's because this hard drive is just on its way out. It's one of my dead hard drives, or failing hard drives. It's not dead, obviously, but it's really slow. But also because of only 512 megabytes of RAM. This might just be, guys, the first ever time someone has booted a 10.7 install with only half a gigabyte of RAM. I did not even know that it's possible to do this, but it works. So, yes. As you can see, it has the GMA X3100, 144 megabytes. So not the best, and the fan is ramping up because the CPU is getting hot. Could have to do with the fact that the fan is not even like bolted in at all. We'll not run this too long, so we don't want to cook the CPU and destroy it again. But I just wanted to see that. Wow, it's really going nuts now. We got here a working MacBook. That's very good. That's very awesome. So the quarantine got me motivated to do more work on the MacBook, and so I renewed the thermal paste, as you see there. The old one was just brittle and basically useless, so I did that also here. Cleaned everything off, and so yeah, this board will stay in there. So I decided to do this now, so I can screw this heatsink in place for good, so I don't have to mess with that anymore, since we need to take out the monitor, but that is easily done with this here. And so this, I don't need to get in here somewhere anymore, so that's good. Also, I still need to modify the speaker, sand it down even more to make it flush and sit in there nicely. I was just too lazy to do that. That's something I do tomorrow probably. So, update on the MacBook. I got this screw out, and unfortunately the edge broke off when I tried to drill it out. There was no other way. This was just so seized and stripped, just no other way. But unfortunately, yeah, cracked. So I tried fixing it with super glue. You might say this is such a ghetto and whatever unprofessionally done thing, and then you care about this little edge. Yes, I do, because if somebody ever owns this after me, which will probably happen, this is a thing they can see. So I don't want to, say that I'm hiding some bad work or whatever, but when this edge here is not here anymore in the battery compartment, there might be suspicion on that this might have been tinkered with or something, and we don't want that. So no, I just trying my best here to make this work out with this screw here. So yeah. Oh yeah, and I also put in another 512 megabyte of RAM that brings it to a whopping 1 gigabyte. Yeah, sorta okay to run Lion, but yeah, not really. So I decided to have another go on the MacBook. Unfortunately, the inverter cable is not here yet, but I got the old one out, and as you can see, this little guy here is holding us back. Only this little connector. So yeah, got it out. There's really no screw left alone in this project. Like every single screw has been somewhat tinkered with. So got the bezel off, and wow, look at that, guys. I mean, sure, this was the entry-level MacBook for $1,000 or so, but come on, look at this flimsy shit. No wonder this breaks all the time. So I think it's now a week later since I made the last clip on the MacBook, and unfortunately the shipment was delayed of my inverter cable because of obvious reasons, Corona and stuff. So but it arrived, I think, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and here it is. And now I can finally piece this mess here, hopefully back together to a working MacBook. I will just quickly set it up, lay it out, and see if it actually works. I really hope it does. I mean, it looks to me it has the correct socket here. Got here the test setup, and here is our little inverter cable. Plugged right in, so it was the correct one. Also here, so let's see if it works. Oh ho ho, yeah! Look at that! We got a backlight. Well, isn't that amazing? Can you tell that I'm excited? Yes, I finally can put this back together, and finally something that works. It just had so much failure in the last days of just other computers pissing me off. And yeah, I also cleaned the bezel and this little thing. This was nasty because it's basically impossible to clean thoroughly once this is back together, so I decided to just clean it now. And this is really cheap. Like, I was so afraid of breaking this every time I touched it. It's crazy, but doesn't matter, it works. That's good. So I also just took my time a little bit and tested it if it is now 100% functional, because that's a thing I really never did. I focused solely on getting it running. But yeah, LAN works, all the ports work, which is great. And now that the monitor has been running for a while, can you tell it's quite a lot brighter? So this had to warm up a bit. Probably hasn't been on in, maybe years. So yeah, now it's much better than before. So it isn't as worn out as I thought after all. But I can tell the system is running. I've played a couple of YouTube videos back just to, make sure it's not kernel panicking randomly. But no, everything fine. So I think I'm confident enough that I can make it one machine and reassemble it, make it look good, hide all this mess here, and yeah, make it a proper laptop. Et voila, here it is, our MacBook, up and running, completely working, which astonished me, to be honest, because with all of this stuff we did to it, that I didn't break or kill anything, that surprised me. But yeah, we have it running. I let it now run for a couple of minutes. Unfortunately, the battery in it seems to be stone dead. Maybe it's gonna kick back in. Maybe it's just, deeply discharged, but I don't think it's coming back to us. But the rest of the machine is absolutely flawless. I also upgraded the RAM from its 1 gig to 2 gigs. I had that from another Acer computer where I will upgrade the RAM, and so I decided to repurpose that RAM. And so we have double the RAM, 2 gig, also a little faster. And yeah, all in all, I can say this was a success, and there is very little wrong with it visually. The only thing that I did not get around fixing yet is these two screw holes. I have all of these screws. Don't worry, not all of them are from the MacBook, but for sure these couple of these are, but none of them would fit or just bite, and some would be too long, some would be too small in diameter, but I will find some. But the rest is fine, sure. As you can see, it's not perfect. Got here a little gap, and also over there it's flexible, but I think, sure, my treatment here hasn't really helped. But these MacBooks are generally, with this age, these panel gaps are quite common on these, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. And as you see, I mean, it works. It's a MacBook 3.1 Core 2 Duo. I've got here somewhere a processor info utility, and as you can see, it's a Merom now, so we upgraded at least the processor, so that's the most ghetto way to upgrade a processor on your MacBook, but I had to do it since the other board was just dead. So yeah, it's running Lion, which is of course nothing we will keep, because I didn't do all of this work just to run Lion, guys, but that's a topic for another video. So was it worth it? Absolutely not. You are just way better off buying a late 27 MacBook, and you will save yourself a lot of hassle. Also, this is now one of these machines where I could compare these to like one of these project cards that you buy from somebody really cheap, and it has been tinkered with, it has been messed up, and nothing is original, and it's just unfixable. Bringing it back to stock, and so is here. I mean, I've done so many modifications which are all like under the hood, so you don't even see them first glance, but when you take this off, you will be like, whoa, what was this guy doing here? So yeah, and also for this minor teeny tiny speed increase, it wasn't worth it. You're not gaining a lot of more performance, you're not gaining more support as a first thought, because I thought I had a different generation processor. So if you really want to swap a motherboard in the MacBook, you really would like have a real good reason to do that. But hey, it was fun. I kind of liked it. It was a fun experience nevertheless, and I'm happy that one of my crazy stupid projects actually turned out to be successful. So webcam works, sleep wake works, LAN works, all the ports work. The only thing that doesn't work is the optical drive, but that was broken before too, so yeah, it's pretty common with these. But yeah, apart from that, it is a working MacBook, and if it had a working battery, it would even be still somewhat usable as a laptop. But yeah, we are of course not done with this yet. We'll do some crazy stuff with it before I get rid of it, but for now, that's it. So yeah, please tell me how dumb I was to do this to this poor MacBook. And yeah, but guys, it was fun. That's what I did it for. It was fun. It was hilarious. And yeah, thank you for watching. See you later.